Ed's Guitar Heaven. Here's one I got from Reverb. It's from Pennsylvania. And it has peanuts in it. Wow. Not bad though. Yes, folks, this is how it really is. A disaster. Peanuts. Bubble wrap. Here we go. Come on. Hey. It's going to have high action, which we knew. It looks like rosewood, which means it's faux wood. It's most likely faux rosewood. Most likely. Nice little neck. This was a very inexpensive guitar, if this was the original tailpiece. It's the flimmiest one I've ever seen. Someone's added 2 screws to hold this bridge down. That's okay. It's going to get a pin bridge. Solid spruce top. Yay, solid spruce top. If I have to take the back off, we may rebrace it or we may not. I think it's probably birch, but it could be another type of wood now. I can see the grain in there. We'll have to do something to change the geometry and lower the action. That's the name of the game. The fretboard looks like it might come off. We'll see. Anyway, it's the beginning of another episode of Ed's Guitar Heaven. We'll see. Howdy. This is the office of Ed's Guitar Heaven. This is where the broken guitars, there's the victim of the day, are, there's the pile of guitars that one gets picked and fixed. Sometimes a couple get worked on at the same time. And that's the one we're working on today. Howdy. We're zoomed out a little bit. We could come closer, but I'm going to start messing with this thing, and there may be a zoom in the movie making area. This is the guitar that just came in, and I have that urge to check it out. It has a bad thing going on. The neck angle is just ruined. This part of the fretboard is angled up. The rest of the neck from the 12th fret is bending that way, kind of down. So there's a kind of a mess going on here. I noticed that the fretboard is a little loose from the top, and somebody screwed the floating bridge down so that it doesn't move. This is the world's cheapest tail piece. Solid spruce top, that's what's going to make this guitar of value. The big debate is, do we take the back off? And almost guaranteed we will have to take the back off to reset the neck angle. We're not going to steam the neck. So we've looked it over. These are vintage tuners. You can tell because they're running backwards. How they do it at the factory, yeah. We're in production. Oh, backwards again. tuners are installed backwards for a reason. Maybe we'll get into that. The guitar detective will take a look. I like to check out the history of these things. This one is permanently attached. Somebody's actually just tied the string around the post. Haha. With these tuners, tuners are made so that when you pull on the post, whether it's going this way or this kind of tuner, it pulls it into the gear for good contact and no backlash. Well, this is backwards, and when you turn it, it's backwards. These should be here, these should be here. Then we'll look to see, yeah, these are Phillips head screws, so somebody's messed with this. The tuners are on backwards. The guitar detective is on the job. These things are telling stories, all kinds of stories, and we want to get the tailpiece off. I don't think I have that kind of screwdriver here. So we'll have to turn things off and turn things on. These are gloves, which I may need. These are palette knives, mostly with other kinds of knives. We're just looking here to see what's going on. And part of it is loose. We're hoping that nobody messed with it, and it's only hide glue. You can hear it talking. That's the hide glue talking. Part of what I am obligated to do also is to not mar the top. Good luck with that. I may stop, get some masking tape so we don't hurt this, and continue with this process. I'll turn the camera back on. So, I made a bib out of a manila folder to protect the surrounding top in my quest to take this part of the neck loose. You can hear it talking. There's a snap that happens with hide glue. And what I'm doing here is mostly sort of cutting through the hide glue, but if you pre-stress, lift up on it, it gets ready to go. I'm missing quite a few of these tools. I'll have to go back out and get some more. This would be like a pre-lifter, or bring in the big guns, table knife. Pre-tension. Pay attention, boy. See? Anyway, this process will continue with various tools. I have a selection of them, and if it gets bad, I wear the gloves. Hear the crack? The little crick's what we're looking for. Basically, down the very center of this, there seems to be a seam. Look at that. Aha. Yeah, baby. Now, when I did that, this whole thing went, ah! I saw it move. I swear I saw it move. Maybe I just saw the paper. I don't know. But we will. Now I'm pre-stressing again. Don't mess this up. I think we're pretty much let go, but yeah, we're still letting go. This process will continue, and that's as far as we're going to take that. The dovetail joint is right under this first fret from the My next break point and think point on my UPS side is whether or not to remove the neck or the fretboard from the neck. It's actually showing signs of separation with no anxiety. It's the anxiety you have to watch out. Yes, this probe's going in here. There's just no way that the geometry is going to allow, even with the fretboard off, the neck itself is pointed down into the body, and that's going to require removing the back. There's just no way around it. And at that point, the arcane process of resetting the neck without steaming the joint, which I might call slipping the neck, it's actually slipping the back. I'll turn it off. I've gone about as far as I can here, and I might not remove the fretboard because I'm going to have to take the back off. It's fun to watch. We'll see how it goes in the next little segment. Well, the instrument is well made. We've made the decision to remove the back. That may allow me to keep the fretboard on the neck. We don't know yet. What I've done is I've gone around the seam looking for an opening. Usually by this time something is let loose. Well, nothing is let loose on this. It's glued well all the way around. There's no warpage. Look at this beautiful rosewood. It's a thing to behold, but it's really birch, and it's done in a hurry with a rag probably to give you that. Anyway, I have gone around the guitar and just found a place I thought I could start, and I pressed this thing in, and I'm starting the process of opening the seam up. This process could take as little as 10 or 20 minutes or 2 or 3 hours. The big thing when you're doing this is, let's say that it comes apart easily because it was made with hide glue, and the glue will make this little cracking noise. The thing to watch out for is when you hit a brace. There's braces back here, and when you hit the brace, trying to do this won't work, so you have to disengage the brace and the back from the kerfing from the inside by feel or by look or some other way. So I'm going to mess with this for a while, and when I get more of this started to let loose, I'll turn the camera back on. Okay. Otherwise, I'll just feel like a little great dog. Well, it's been about 10 or 15 minutes, and I've got it cut loose from here through here. It's worn so bad in here that, and here where you see it simply worn away from use, it's very thin. I turned it back on because when you get to this area, usually it's very secure, but this area is showing finish is gone. It almost looks like water damage, and that the ability to break this hole, this is the neck block. Ooh, and the ability, well, that's your hide glue. You can see that if you get it working right. So we're to here and around to here. I've used this, and to get started, in many cases, I'm using the single edge razor blade to find a new place to break in. I'll turn it off. I just wanted to, you could hear that, it's that crack of the original hide glue that tells you you're at the seam and it's coming apart. grand unveiling. Took two pieces of kerfing with it. Got it loose there. There's some cracks. It ain't bad. So, these are 100-year-old dust bunnies stuck in here, among other things. Interesting bracing system, yes. They're not always what they appear. This was done on purpose. And there's quite a few braces on the back. Anyway, it's up to me to look at this thing and make some decisions. Solid spruce top. It's beginning to look like, I don't know, this could be mahogany, but it's gray. But this block is gray. Anyway, the next thing is to determine whether or not to remove at least this and this brace, or leave all the braces, because neck reset, this will go onto a fixture which you'll see in the next episode that allows for the fretboard. This will be flat, and I can do some more analysis on basically resetting the neck will consist of bending this whole piece and capturing it with the glue on the back and having it remain that way. It works well. There's also a lot of other stuff going to go on before that, if that happens. I'll go get the fixture board just so we can proceed. I'm not doing anything else. So, this board is absolutely flat. It's got a cutout for the neck. If it had a bridge, it might fit in this slot. This doesn't. It's a conversion. Hopefully this. So this fits in here. And now, I guess, yeah. I can get a good idea of how flat this is. And it's pretty flat. Sometimes these are terribly dished. It's pretty flat. And eventually this goes on my workbench, which is flat and level, and it'll allow me to get an idea of what's going on. This neck has to come up a lot, and it doesn't want to. It's going to have to, it got bent this way over time from the pull of the strings. We're going to have to make this thing rebend, and the way I do that usually is through pressure and moisture. This will be lifted here, this will be pushed down here, this will be moistened, and the wood will relax and hopefully come back to where it needs to be. That'll happen in the shop, and I usually do that setup at night so it's soaking in the water and absorbing the pressure and the weight overnight. While I'm doing this, I'm going to be pushing down on this too, because inevitably some of it will be in there. Anyway, this is where the sausage is made, and it's my way of resetting a neck. There's nothing wrong with this joint. This joint is intact. Why mess with it? The problem is the warpage here. Most of the time it's a severe warp here, and when I flatten this, the neck comes back and I don't have to mess with it so much. But every guitar is an adventure.